Almighty God, who in thy infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and councils for the welfare of society and the just government of man, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servant whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in thy presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge, all which we ask in the name and for the sake of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Announcements by Speaker.
Just one short announcement. I think it's important to just say it. I received correspondence from the Honorable Defoe indicating that he's not well. So I just wanted to announce that. So permission is granted. We may proceed.
Authorization of credit facilities. Whereas by virtue of Section 3.1 of the Loans Act, Chapter 6405 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the House of Assembly may by resolution duly passed authorize the minister responsible for finance to borrow money from approved sources or guarantee loans to statutory bodies or public corporations for the purpose of financing general development purposes and for other purposes. And whereas, in accordance with Section 36(1) of the Finance Administration Act, Chapter 6302 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the power conferred by the Loans Act to borrow money by means of advances from a bank may be exercised by means of a fluctuating overdraft. And whereas for the past 4 consecutive fiscal years, Parliament approved a bank overdraft limit in the amount of 108 million for the central government, statutory bodies, and public corporation use. And whereas in July 2025, Parliament approved a credit card facility not exceeding $250,000 to support direct purchase by government in order to save cost. And whereas for the fiscal year 2026-2027, a sum not exceeding $108,250,000 is required to support the operations of central government, statutory bodies, and public corporation as follows. A, 103 million overdraft limit and 250,000 credit card limit for central government. And B, the guarantee of overdraft facilities for statutory bodies and public corporations not exceeding 5 million. And whereas the government of Dominica's debt strategy allows for a mix of financial options to include loans, overdraft facilities, and securities geared at meeting government's financial needs. And whereas the government of Dominica has historically utilized a combination of overdrafts and treasury bills to supplement general revenues in financing short-term needs, while capital projects continue to be financed through grants, concessional loans, and resources from the Citizenship by Investment program. And whereas the government continues to build fiscal resilience against climatic and macroeconomic shocks to ensure fiscal stability. And whereas the government remains committed to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union's target for member states to achieve a debt-to-GDP ratio of 60% by the year 2035, as well as adherence to the government of Dominica's fiscal responsibility framework of 2021. Be it resolved that in accordance with Section 3.1 of the Loans Act, Chapter 6405 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, this Honorable House authorizes the Minister for Finance to borrow and guarantee, by means of a fluctuating overdraft, a sum not exceeding $108 million and a credit card facility not exceeding $250,000 from the following financial institutions: National Bank of Dominica, Republic Bank, and any other approved financial institution, to meet the short-term financing needs of central government, statutory bodies, and public corporations for a further period of 1 year, commencing on the first day of July 2026. Second. Mr. Speaker, the resolution before this Honorable House seeks approval for the continued use of a fluctuating overdraft facility in the total sum of $108 million and a credit card facility of $250,000. This authorization is necessary to meet the short-term financing needs of the central government, statutory bodies, and public corporations during fiscal year 2026-2027. Mr. Speaker, the Government of Dominica's debt strategy allows for a mix of financing options, including loans, overdraft facilities, and securities to support the implementation of the budget. Government borrowing is undertaken within a debt management objective, which is to ensure that the government's financing needs and obligations are met on a timely basis in a way that minimizes costs over the medium to long term with a prudent level of risk. Historically, the government has utilized a combination of overdraft facilities and treasury bills to supplement general revenue in financing its short-term needs, while capital projects have been primarily funded through grants, concessional loans, and proceeds from the Citizenship by Investment program. Mr. Speaker, the overdraft facility will ensure that there is adequate liquidity to maintain operational continuity and enable the government to meet its obligations promptly, particularly in instances of revenue shortfalls or cash flow volatility, while the credit card facility will support direct international purchases to save costs and time. The government remains resolute in its commitment to fiscal prudence, including adherence to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union's target of a debt-to-GDP ratio of 60% by the year 2035. As mentioned in the budget address, starting this fiscal year, government commits to maintaining a primary surplus of at least 2% and continuing sustainable investments to grow the economy to ensure we achieve the 60% debt target no later than 2035. Mr. Speaker, I now commend the resolution to the House for its consideration and approval.
The motion is before the House for debate. Yes, Honorable Prime Minister, you are recognized. You may proceed.
Speaker, thank you so much. How much time do I have? Under the rules?
Under the rules, 30 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to give support to the resolution presented by the Minister of Finance. This is really an administrative matter. Most companies have an overdraft facility. Even private individuals have an overdraft facility. At some point, I had an overdraft facility, writing checks, helping citizens and constituents, and I went overboard and I created an overdraft facility at the National Bank back in 2006, 2007, about $40,000. So governments the world over have overdraft facilities because, Mr. Speaker, the reality is that outside of a reserve, governments don't have money sitting there. The monies have to be collected every day. The economy has to be producing. And there are times when your collection of your revenue does not match the expenses that you have to engage in at a particular point in time. So you need that reserve that you can call out so that you can put it with what you have to meet your obligations. But Mr. Speaker, you will have seen in the estimates, if we paid attention to the estimates, and the Minister of Finance highlighted that in his budget address, that there was an increase of 7.9% in revenues by the government. If you look at professional fees, there's been an increase in revenues. If you look at corporate income tax, there's been an increase in revenues. And so there is a clear sign that the economy is producing more and continues to produce more every single year. I believe that what we have to continue to do within the government and the country, a couple of things. We have to be more productive. If we are to work 8 to 4 in the country and then Saturday and Sunday off, we have a problem because the world is open 24 hours. And we cannot shut down our country at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We have to be able to work harder and to work longer hours if we're to realize the kinds of return that we all want for our country. And also we have to continuously work towards reducing on unnecessary discretionary spend, electricity, telecommunication services. These things are huge. And how much of those telephone calls we make in the public service are related to producing anything in the public service? Projects have to be better managed so that there are no cost overruns. There must be more accountability in those things. Because every time a project delays, there are cost overruns. And I have never seen the government take anybody to court for not adhering to an agreement signed between the government and a contractor. And there may be reason for that. You understand? And so if we do not want to go to court, then we have to ensure that the agreements are maintained properly. Everybody in this country knows, Mr. Speaker, that I have been, and maybe the singular advocate, public advocate on income tax reform in Dominica. I have consistently indicated that I am not an income tax person. I believe in a fundamental principle that somebody works for his money, you pay him what is due to him, and let him use his money as he so sees fit. I believe in consumption tax. And this is why I believe that the value-added tax must remain a very strong backbone of our tax system. And we have to be very careful about suggestions about tampering with it, unless if you're prepared to print something else in to replace it. And the question is, what is that tax you will bring to replace it? Because when you bring the VAT to a particular low level, it will really be of no real value to you because it will not have the effect that it will have. This is why, if you look at countries where they have reduced their VAT rates, they have found a way to introduce another tax. They call it different names. And so we, in 2009, the first government in a very long time that affected the income tax regime was in 2009. When I think we did before that, but the main one was in 2009, where we dramatically changed the tax structure in Dominica by reducing the bands by 5%, each of them. 15, it was 15, I think it was 20, 35 and 40. And we reduced, or 30, we reduced it. But we reduced it, and we also increased the tax threshold. And a significant number of tax-paying people in Dominica at the time were automatically removed from the tax brackets. $30,000. And those of us who were receiving more than $30,000 automatically started seeing savings because the first $30,000 of our income was not taxed. So everybody in the country benefited. So I don't know where this notion about, the tax system that we have now is only benefiting the people who are making money. The people who are making less than $30,000 in Dominica don't pay income tax. And if you do not pay income tax, you can't get a tax rebate. I mean, are these people, I mean, I don't know what to say, Mr. Speaker. When I hear people who troubleshoot, who say that they are economists and they're this, and they go to university and all these things, and they make those kinds of statements, this is something that the people of Dominica must take note of. This just throwing things out and making it sound good is a dangerous thing. I've always maintained, Mr. Speaker, that a government has a duty to be responsive, but at the same time responsible. I'll be the first to say, Mr. Speaker, that this government has been overly generous to the people of Dominica. Overly generous to Dominica. There is no country in the world where the government builds a house and gives it for free. Never before we had situations where, Mr. Speaker, in Dominica, that a government would give anybody housing assistance. Hurricane came, storms came, and nobody got any housing assistance. After Hurricane David, one or two people who were close to the government got money, got some green heart from Guyana. But the rest of us in Dominica had to go to the forest and fetch wood and go by the river and get stones and get drums and cut them up and flatten them and build a shack for ourselves. That's the reality of Dominica. Children who languish at home, not going to school because the parents couldn't afford the bus fare. In Dalis at the time, when I became Minister of Education, it was $115 a month from Dalis to Roseau Grammar School. Dalis was part of the Roseau catchment area. And I met a man, a farmer, had 3 children at grammar school at the same time. Children had books to go to school. Parents had to make a choice between sending a child to school and buying lunch. Getting assistance to go to university was something that if you don't have a surname or you do not know somebody in Ministry of Education or establishment, you'll never get to university except if you go to Cuba. Today, everybody has degrees, Mr. Speaker. And anybody in Dominica, as I tell people, ask yourself a question. Anybody in Dominica who has a degree now, you got it during this Labour Party government. And either you got direct help or you're motivated by the policy decision of the government. That's what it is. And so we have been generous. Small businesses, the only place a small business would get any kind of loan was from NDFD. Not from the aid bank, not from government grants, no. The only time you had some money from Taiwan back in the days, the province of Taiwan, back in the 90s, they put money at the aid bank. Small people never got it. Since the establishment of the small business unit, we have given close to $100 million of grants to them. And we've given the aid bank over $130 million from the Treasury. Never before the aid bank would get money from the Treasury to lend to Dominican business people. We get money from the World Bank, from the CDB. That was it. That was our main source of funding for, and then at 11% and 12% because you got it at the CDB at 5%. Time you add this and you add that. Never. The government housing loan board, and I speak to police officers and public servants, you couldn't have gotten a loan at 4% or not over 2%. We introduced that in the country because we provided the government housing loan board with monies from the Treasury of Dominica. That wasn't happening before. They would take a loan at 8% and on lend to you at 11 and 12%. Ensuring that every policy of the government was to keep money in your pocket. Every policy of the government to keep money in your pocket. Farmers, Mr. Speaker, the only farmer who get money after a storm were those who were abandoned farmers because they had insurance that they were paying for. A storm or normal circumstances, this government has been pouring money into the hands of farmers in Dominica. So we know what it is, Mr. Speaker. And so we have decided to eliminate the 15%, the 25%, and the 45% and introduced a flat rate of 10% in Dominica. This is a huge day for the people, for the working people of Dominica. Major savings for them, Mr. Speaker. And our hope and prayer and our suggestion is that they use those savings to invest in something, so it can make more money for you, a second income. That's what we're seeking to do, to get people in Dominica to become their own producers of money, producers of wealth for themselves, not only relying on the one income, but facilitating every turn, Mr. Speaker. So we send a child to school, you don't have to find $250,000 to send a child to school. We provide you with a loan at 2%, so you don't have to get it at 7%. Saving money, Mr. Speaker. Today we're here with the income tax at 10%. And then I hear people talking about, oh, well, you're giving the people making money. Then we decided, Mr. Speaker, to go the non-compounded route. And I am satisfied, Mr. Speaker, that there should be a clear and present reduction in prices at the shelves in Dominica because of that situation. Because basic maths will tell you, Mr. Speaker, that if you're paying VAT on freight, and you're paying VAT on import duties, and you're paying VAT on customs service charge, and you're paying VAT on environmental surcharge, and you no longer have to pay VAT on those things, there should be a saving to people Dominica. So this budget, Mr. Speaker, supported by the resolution before us, Mr. Speaker, which I am speaking to. Funding, Mr. Speaker, funding, money, Mr. Speaker. There's a continuum in this budget. Making things cheaper for you and putting more money in your pocket, Mr. Speaker. Because you can make things cheaper for you, Senator Paris, but you may not have the money to buy it. So we keeping more money in your pocket and reducing the cost of doing business in Dominica. And this is a major plus for business owners in Dominica because they do not have to put much more money in front now, Mr. Speaker, to clear goods at the custom. They will be paying less. So the man who is going to buy a motor car, you expect to pay less, Mr. Speaker, moving away from the compounding. So this is what this budget is doing. And Mr. Speaker, I believe the people of Dominica, Mr. Speaker, the resolution, thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, the people of Dominica, Mr. Speaker, must recognize that in the face of adversity, because the world is more difficult. I have never seen the world more difficult now than it has been, Mr. Speaker, in my time. It's a very cold war, a very indifferent world. And it's a world that requires us in these small states, like every country, to look more within. To look more within. And what these proposals have done, Mr. Speaker, is that shown that this government is retreating. That in the face of adversity, the government is pushing forward, advancing, Mr. Speaker, taking bold decisions to place the economy in a better position to, one, withstand the impacts of those external shocks, and also to give more impetus to our people, greater confidence in our people, that this government is not retreating in the face of adversity. Because every material time that this government has faced adversity, it has shown its best self, Mr. Speaker. Best self, Mr. Speaker. And we have been examples in how to respond to shocks, Mr. Speaker. A small island nation, 226% impacted in 2017, 90% in 2015. COVID, 45% of our revenue dropped 2 years later. There are not many countries could have rebounded from that. Billions spent to respond to those external shocks. And see where we are today. And so we're making progress, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the last 5 years, we have spent about $2.3 billion in capital projects, on an average of about $460 million per year. Do the maps, go and do all the roads and all the housing there, and the geothermal and the runway, Mr. Speaker. Do the maps. $460 million we poured into this economy last 5 years annually. Pushing the economy. This is why there's a growth. There's a growth. But what we have always maintained, Mr. Speaker, that the government must never stand and boast about how well it is doing. It must always ensure that the people of Dominica can be part of that prosperity. So I have said there, and I said there last year, Mr. Speaker, that the primary surplus could be much higher. We could project a primary surplus of 5.6% by making certain cuts in our expenditure. I can get 10% primary surplus, Mr. Speaker, by making cuts. 10% easily. But the question is, to whose benefit? Should the government boast of 10% primary surplus? And if people cannot pay their bills, people cannot address cost of living, they can't take more money home, what do we do? And do we tell the people that you can't get money to go overseas for advanced medical intervention? Do we cancel the school transfer grants or the free transportation or free college tuition? I would caution any government, Mr. Speaker, about doing that. Because at the end of the day, a government is not in place for itself. A government is in place to address the issues confronting its people. And that's what we've been seeking to do. It has been a drain, a huge challenge, because we're making a sacrifice. It's not money that we don't have things to do with it. But we recognize the fact that governments are put in place for the people of the country. And so I continue as the Prime Minister to hold this rein. Because I know how important this is for the people who are beneficiaries of those government interventions. Because I interact with people every single day, Mr. Speaker. Every single day I meet people, I engage people. I know how, so when we develop policies, it's because of our engagement with the people. Leading up to the budget, Mr. Speaker, outside of the consultations with the Ministry of Finance, I, as the Prime Minister, I held 16 different consultations with different groups, averaging 15 people across Dominica. Plus individuals, getting from them a sense of how life is, what advice there for the government, what kind of policies they feel the government should advance. And so the proposals in this budget, Mr. Speaker, is a reflection of those consultations which we've had with people of Dominica. And in some cases, Mr. Speaker, we use the precise language they advise us on. Because it's not about us, it's about the people. And so I'm so happy to support this measure before us, Mr. Speaker. Time over already?
Almost.
He has about 15 more minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He started at 10:13.
Okay.
So I'm not sure this. I'm looking at my
Yeah.
clock there.
Well, I wish.
But you
we-
can still advance, yes.
Yes, I'm on my field, Mr. Speaker. I wish to move that the Prime Minister be given 15 more minutes for his presentation.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that the Honorable Prime Minister be given an additional 15 minutes. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Honorable Prime Minister, you are given an additional 15 minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So Mr. Speaker, what we presented to the Parliament, Mr. Speaker, is a bridge. The proposals which we presented is a bridge of the last 26 years for the next 10 to 15 years. And Mr. Speaker, we are seeing, and this is why I'm happy the government stayed the course with a number of the major projects in the face of adversity. This is why I believe I'm happy that government stood the course with investing in the geothermal, Mr. Speaker. This is why I'm happy the government stayed the course in investing in tourism. Because you recall, Mr. Speaker, that when we were supporting citizens and foreign people to build hotels in Dominica, we were criticized saying that we're wasting money. We don't need hotel rooms. But today, Mr. Speaker, we do not have enough hotel rooms still. Demand is great. There are a number of people who are not coming to Dominica for Creole Festival and Carnival because there are no rooms. And in Dominica now, there's a proliferation of Airbnbs. People see an opportunity. And it's left to us in Dominica to stop complaining and be negative and to start looking for the opportunities and take advantage of them. Otherwise, foreign people come and take away them from us. We position ourselves. In this budget, you have so many things that people can take advantage of. And it's important for us to position ourselves to do that, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, we've been tested, but we've always responded, Mr. Speaker. And so, let us think, if we appreciate what just the extension of the runway and the grouping of the Douglas Charles Airport is doing for Dominica, just imagine what the international airport will do. Just imagine what the international airport will do. And imagine, Mr. Speaker, with just not having no infrastructure for yachts in Dominica, whether it's in Newtown or it's in Portsmouth, Mr. Speaker. Look at, understand and appreciate the impact that these yachts are having on Dominica. And appreciate that when you put the infrastructure of a marina, on a boat, repair yard, the kind of jobs that will create, the kind of activity that will create. Because when people come on a yacht, Mr. Speaker, they don't only stay on the boat. They come to experience the country. So they rent vehicles, they go to the restaurants, they're looking for the nightclubs. They're looking to move around, they go whale watching, swimming the whales, hiking, Mr. Speaker. They want to experience the authentic Dominica. So they'll stop and have some roast plantain inside the road, and corn, and roast bakes, Mr. Speaker, supporting the local economy. So this is what happened, Mr. Speaker. And the impact the cable car will have, we used to see the impact that the aerial tram had on Dominica. And just imagine what it's going to have, drawing people in. Because people need things to experience in Dominica. And so we're seeing these things gelling. And when all of them come to completion with investments, in massive investment in agriculture, the massive investment in small business, the massive investment in education, the massive investment in infrastructure, and supporting and facilitating private sector investment, Mr. Speaker, we will be able to self-finance our budget because our revenues will be increased. What we have to ensure is that we strengthen tax collection and administration, and that people who own businesses, you cannot be enjoying the business and saying you're not paying yourself a salary. You have to pay yourself a salary and pay income tax like all of us, Mr. Speaker. You can't be driving the company's vehicle, buying lunch from the companies, flying on the company business, and you get a salary. How many get a salary? You pay yourself a salary and pay income tax on it. So that we spread the impact, we spread the responsibility, Mr. Speaker. It can't be public officers and those who are employees, who are the ones paying all the income tax themselves. No, those of us who create jobs, we have to pay some income tax. And so file your income tax, Mr. Speaker, so that we can have more revenues. Because the revenue should have increased in terms of collection by 15% rather than 7.9% or 7.6% as reported by the Minister of Finance. So I'm happy to support this, Mr. Speaker. This is a very, very comprehensive set of proposals. And I believe that the country has well received it. I think the country is in shock. The country is in shock to see to the extent to which this government has gone in very difficult circumstances. And I recognize the contribution of the leader of the opposition, and I did say so publicly. I think that this is where I have taken note. I've read your speech again, and I've taken note of some of the observations that you've made, and that's what we do. That we can have divergent views, but we can learn from each other. But to say nothing happened in Dominica, or nothing has happened in Dominica as some outside are proposing, it's foolishness. That's why I hope you guys stay where you are for as long as we have a parliament. I think you're a better opposition than what is outside the purporting to be itself. So Parish, you might stay there. I'm not sure how you're going to stay there, but You don't fight if I'm Charleston that day. I don't know what's going to happen. You know? So, Mr. Speaker, the overdraft is really a cushion. We use it from time to time. Expenses come in, unforeseen expenses. You fall short of revenue. The expenditure increase in a particular month. You have to pay more of this and more of that. You have to help people. You have to do this. And so these things happen. And so it's a really administrative thing, but you require the approval of the Parliament for the overdraft for both the central government and also statutory entities. We've always said we have to use it sparingly, we have to use it responsibly, and we have to use it if we ensure that there's transparency in the process, Mr. Speaker. So I'm very excited about the future of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. Where we're going, there have been bumps, there have been great interruptions like Maria and others, Mr. Speaker, but we have surmounted those challenges. And it's left for us now to work together and to make Dominica an attractive place for us to live and for us to work, Mr. Speaker. And that's what we're seeking to do. And we have to move away. My final point, Mr. Speaker, is that we have to move away from bringing down. It's not going to help us. It's not going to help us. You know? It's not going to help us. I will spend every time, everything the government is doing, you're faced with an obstacle. You know, there's so many other things that we could have made happen. We could have had the complete restoration of the Botanic Gardens. We could have had a 9-hole golf course, Mr. Speaker, where all the derelict buildings are and the vehicles are. Prime real estate, creating jobs. We estimated that the 9-hole would have created 100 jobs for the people of Dominica. We had people who come to build it, Mr. Speaker. Completely restore the Botanic Gardens, have a play area, turn it into a complete pedestrian park. Do the bypass road outside of the Botanic Gardens and close the gates, and you have people going who can have a tour, a guided tour of the Botanic Gardens and bring in the flora and fauna of Dominica, plant cocoa and bananas and fruit trees, so we can show people what we have, the indigenous plants that we have in Dominica. Have coffee shops. We're going to restore the playground, Mr. Speaker, and reconstruct the pavilion because of its history. We're going to put at the back of the pavilion, Mr. Speaker, a small goal football pitch so that people don't play on the grass. They will play outside of this. We had a plan, Mr. Speaker, to completely redevelop the W.J. Charles Boulevard. Move Dexter out of town and reconstruct that space and turn it into a place where you can get everything Dominican. The tourists could go there anytime. Any Dominican who wants a gift to take out Dominica, you could go into that building and go there and have something Dominican. Every little Dominican business person will have a space. We're going to redo we're going to construct a reception for the cruise ship. Reception building. We're going to build a new terminal building for the ferries, and redo this David Charles Boulevard. And my personal view then was that we should have turned David Charles Boulevard into a pedestrian street and let it be a real pedestrian street where we can put tables and chairs and people can have coffee shops along the road and create this atmosphere, Mr. Speaker. That's my vision there, Mr. But in Dominica, when we talk consultation, is to see how we can stop something. It's never to advance it. See how much fighting we have for the airport. We had some guy who was encouraged to write to the Marina people from California and saying about it is destroying when he comes to America, he wants to go scuba diving at Cabritz and it's affecting his scuba diving. Can you imagine that? Encouraged by a local person. And my final point to Dominicans, we must not allow greed and envy to destroy the fabric of our nation. We have to come to a point in our country when we can celebrate people. We can be happy someone is doing well. Especially people looking like us. Especially indigenous people of Dominica. That we have to be happy to see people making progress. And where we can push them, we should push them. Pull them up. That is the only way we're going to be of use to each other. If we can make progress, we can build wealth, create jobs, grow the economy, increase the revenue of the country. Yeah, there's too much talk in this country about who's doing this. My brother, is somebody doing something, power to the person. That's what we have to go there. We have to support local stuff. We can't talk about import bill and we still want to buy the chicken from Brazil and from Portsmouth in England. And then the government invests over $8 million in abattoir. We have chicken that we can buy, better quality. And when we buy the chicken in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, we're ensuring that the farmer can see a return on his investment, that he can expand to the point where we will no longer have to import chicken in Dominica. That's the only way it's going to happen. That when we go to the supermarket, we must ask for local fruits and local vegetables. Insist. Because the supermarkets will sell what people are buying. That's what it is. We must buy the local soaps. Mr. Speaker, I do not buy, if at home, we only use chicken that are produced in Dominica. Right? Soaps, we only use soaps manufactured in Dominica. I insist on that. That's why in the government, Mr. Speaker, even the Tropiton Water Wing, we have a policy in the cabinet that the public service must only buy the water made in Dominica. Right. That's our policy. Sometimes public servants don't buy the water sometimes for whatever reason. But that's the policy of the government. The policy of the government is that we must buy the chicken from the abattoir. Now, Dexia is helping us to sell it. Go and buy the chicken at Dexia. Keep the money in the farmers' hands in Dominica. The government is facilitating them. We, as consumers of Dominica, have to do more to support it. The local juices. Why are we buying these juices that have no substance in it, no sugar in it, and dangerous to our health? Those foolish juices that we buy on the shelves when we have local juice that we can buy. And if we buy more local juice, then the people will upgrade themselves. They have better bottles, better packaging, better quality. Just support it. Why are we buying Milo and Nesquik when we are the best cocoa in Dominica, Mr. Speaker? Why? Is it because we like to pull a trolley in Dominica? Support. People are investing in cocoa fields. People are investing in producing cocoa sticks and cocoa powder. Let us support them so they can expand, they can grow, and we can have our own consolidated cocoa factory in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, packaging it. And to make our own nest, Mr. Speaker, we use our local honey to sweeten it, Mr. Speaker. That's what it is. And this is why we suggested to the beekeepers and the pepper sauce people, and we'll be having a meeting with the cocoa people very soon this month, to talk to them about the government building a factory, outfitting the factory with all of the equipment that we need, and hand it over to you as business people to run and manage. So we have a consolidation of all the pepper sauce producers in Dominica, because you will see different qualities based on the person's capacity. But they all have potential. Same thing with honey, Mr. Speaker. I can tell you, you can make a lot, you're making a lot of money in honey. But we need to package it properly and have a national brand. And the government is prepared to invest in those things so that we have the critical mass. And we can supply the local market, but also supply the regional and extra-regional markets. And so these are the kind of proposals that the government are putting out to the people of Dominica. It's left to them to accept it. Once they accept it, we roll in with it. And I'm saying to us that we are prepared in the government, Mr. Speaker, to take a loan to ensure that those things happen. This is how serious we are about it. Build those factories, outfit them, and give it to you to manage. And so, Mr. Speaker, there are a lot of things that we can speak about. A lot of things, lots of details in this budget, Mr. Speaker, we can speak about. The creative industry, Mr. Speaker.
10 more minutes.
That's okay. That's okay. The creative industry, Mr. Speaker. We're making a bold statement on it. Our music, our artisans, Mr. Speaker, our musicians, Mr. Speaker, our Kalinago craft and culture, our belly dancers, Mr. Speaker, our quadrille dancers, Mr. Speaker. Those things are exports. When people go and sing, when DJ MJ goes to Guadeloupe and they pay him 3,000 euros, that is foreign exchange he's bringing in. When the Buyo boss goes to Germany and he sings and they pay him 15,000 euros, he brings Dominica, that's foreign exchange. That's growing the economy. Yeah, man, if I make a big money, my brother. DJ MJ is big man out there, my brother. Not little man out there, my brother. You and I can't ask DJ to play for us, you know. US the man charging you, euros the man charging you, bad boy. They man know about EC, my brother. You understand? Man quoting you in the US and America, you know. You know, and Shelley and his guys, huge talent. The question is, how do we coordinate? How do we package this and do the proper recordings so they can not only sing on the stage but have rights to the music and making money out of it. Every time the song plays, they get it. A system we've taken this and making it a real business. The belly dancers. Charlie Bell and all of these people and the flamboyant dancers in Dubla. We have to be able to send these people out and make money and bring it back for themselves and for the country. So this is what the Creative Industry Agency is seeking to do, is to harness all of those things, Mr. Speaker. And I will put a minister specifically responsible for that, to give greater political oversight to this thing and make sure it happens. Because these are the things we're doing to diversify the economy. To diversify the economy. Agro-processing, small business development, tourism, agriculture, renewable energy, creative industries, sports tourism, alternative sports. This is why, Mr. Speaker, we have supported the bikers. People, yes, we are concerned about the safety and all these things. But this young man, Mr. Speaker, and I remember I was criticized for sitting in my office and encouraging them and being part of it. But I always believe, Mr. Speaker, that we have to show trust and confidence in our people. Try them out. If they fail, we'll try it again. And I went to the Bikers Fest, Mr. Speaker, and I saw the dramatic improvement in the quality of the product. The quality of the product, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was at Breakfast Fest and I saw the dramatic improvement to the product, Mr. Speaker. I mean, I know they asked me to sing yesterday on Breakfast Fest, but they asked me too late. You can't ask me while I'm there. You have to consult my manager and tell me what you want. While I'm there, they ask me if I come and sing. No, my brother. You don't send contract and everything, and I'll code that in US for you, right? You understand? So all of these things, we have some young men like Chris McIntyre and others who are into the motor racing, Mr. Speaker. We have to sit down with these boys, these young men, and see how we can help them get better cars and to position themselves. Because one of the things we're going to be doing, member for Marigot, I proposed this publicly, and it's some conversation we need to have now, on how do we utilize the Douglas Church Airport. And my view is that we should turn this into the alternative sports center in Dominica. That the fire service building can be used as a guest house. The terminal building as restaurants and bars, little shopping, and then you have the runway there for the motor racing. And all of the people in Marigot will benefit because they'll be the ones managing these things. So here's a tremendous economic opportunity. And then once we operationalize the port, boats can come into Oregon from Guadeloupe and St. Lucia and Martinique. And so it's a conversation we need to have now and concretize those things in advance of the completion of the international airport. Huge opportunity. And so these are the kind of things that we'll be looking at, Mr. Speaker. And so someone will be assigned the responsibility of being a minister for creative industries and alternative sports and to bring attention to this, Mr. Speaker. I don't want to go beyond my time. I'm grateful for the extra time, Mr. Speaker. But there's so much more I wanted to say. But we'll have opportunities to engage, Mr. Speaker. I don't want to impose myself too much. So thank you so much.
Yes, Senator, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, people of the Salisbury constituency, people of Dominica by extension, and to anyone who is viewing or listening today, a pleasant good morning. Mr. Speaker, I rise to address this resolution to authorize an overdraft facility of $108,250,000 EC dollars. Mr. Speaker, before I continue, I would like to request permission to refer to my notes from time to time. However, I will be very brief.
Permission granted, but remember I caution about the referring to notes matter. So, but permission granted, and I give in a lot of leeway in this resolution, the debate for this resolution. So proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Clause 1 of the resolution asks us to approve what we have already approved for the past financial years, 4 financial years. The government itself admits in the preamble that it has operated with the level of overdraft facility for the past 4 financial years. Mr. Speaker, an overdraft is supposed to be temporary, like a bridge. We are all familiar with temporary bridges, such as the Bailey Bridge, for example. Mr. Speaker, when you come across the same bridge for 4 years at the same cost, it is no longer a bridge. It is a structural deficit. Mr. Speaker, Clause 2 authorizes the Minister of Finance to draw down this facility as may be necessary. But necessary for what exactly, Mr. Speaker? We are told in this budget that we are building the Dominican person. We are all for development. We have allocated $76.9 million to education. We have $22.8 million in student support. We have school support projects nearing completion for years. Yet the same problems persist, Mr. Speaker. Literacy and numeracy performance concerns, shortages of qualified teacher graduates without job-ready skills, vocational training that remains under-resourced. If after an overdraft of $108 million, we still cannot complete schools, equip them, and staff them with the necessary resources and get measurable results, then are we borrowing to build or are we borrowing to do something else? Mr. Speaker, to me, this is borrowing without alignment, borrowing without direction. It's like me borrowing from the Honorable Senator Laurie Victor for the sake of borrowing. Oh, is it? That's my case.
Members, please allow the senator to deliver. Please.
Mr. Speaker, Clause 3 gives broad authority with no requirement to report back to this House on how the funds are used. We are told we are building an airport, geothermal, and modernizing agriculture, all of which I am not against. However, Mr. Speaker, where's the alignment? Again, I emphasize on borrowing without alignment, Mr. Speaker. How many aviation technicians are being trained locally? How many engineers for renewable energy? How many hospitality professionals to international standard, not just national? Without that, Mr. Speaker, we risk an economy that depends on imported labor, and then our youth, our young people become severely underemployed. And we will be back here next year asking the same thing for $108 million again. Encore? This is not free money, Mr. Speaker. This overdraft carries interest. That interest is paid by taxpayers, by the same parents paying for uniforms, for transportation, and for school feeding programs. We cannot continue to build expectations without building systems that deliver continuous results. Mr. Speaker, the opposition does not oppose for just opposing sake. As the Honorable Jesma Paul mentioned in her budget address on Thursday, we are here to simply scrutinize, give criticism, and offer alternatives where due. That is the job of the opposition. We do not oppose responsible financing, Mr. Speaker. We oppose normalizing fiscal failure. We will not support a fifth consecutive year of the same overdraft without conditions. Without conditions, I say again. So, Mr. Speaker, before this House approves another $108,250,000, we must ask the minister these questions. What are we getting from it? What are we truly using it for? What is it costing us? What are the opportunity costs as we go along in the fiscal year? Mr. Speaker, we ask these questions basically for the betterment of our country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Charles, you are recognized. You may proceed.
Morning, Mr. Speaker, colleagues, listeners via the media. Mr. Speaker, I rise to give a contribution to the overdraft. But sometimes, Mr. Speaker, when you're watching something from outside, it's different from when you're actually playing a game or in something that is like, for instance, in the parliament, nation building. And as we can see, there's a lot of geopolitics, tension internationally, regionally, and even locally. Even natural disaster, even locally. And this is one of the major reasons for these overdraft, for unforeseen, for miscellaneous, and what I'm going to try to do, because the budget kind of go past me, I forward my recommendation to the Prime Minister. You see some of the downfall and the foreshots, you know, in different ministries. But I'm going to narrow this down to the overdraft, to my constituency. Because the trough that passed through Castle Bruce, Marigot, the Northeast, it greatly affected agriculture, road networking. Not even the Minister of Public Works still working on an estimate to show the amount of waste movement, debris that he had to pay to the truckers and the heavy equipment. So this is for unforeseen natural disasters for one. So they even sent up a technical team, a guy from Barbados, Trinidad, with the driver, is Anil, that's his name, from disaster. Yeah, they came and we had a walkthrough. They did the assessment and they sent it back to the minister in charge. And this alone, assessment is in millions. I didn't get the feedback yet, but I'm waiting, because people are being, every time you are rain falling, they're going by their family because they are compromised. So I understand the overdraft for that, because natural disaster, you don't know when it's going to occur. So I'm going to narrow it down a little more into my constituency. Mr. Speaker, sometimes when I watch the parliament, especially the members on the government side, I think that my constituency should have a relationship through me, through these colleagues, for assistance for the community. And for one, when it comes to, for example, I'm gonna use some little figures. When it comes to like duty-free concession, we have farmers, we have civil servants, public servants. So we kind of try to assist them, because based on the climate and the economical stability and how it is, we have to assist them. Mr. Speaker, just for 3.5 years, 3.5 years I'm here, and I personally was able to facilitate 12 different persons from my community to get duty free. Each one of those persons saved over 12,000 EC dollars. That is 12,000 EC dollars that was saved in the community. They never had to take a loan to clear their vehicle. Mr. Speaker, so that is $100 and something thousand that was already saved in Marigot economy. Mr. Speaker, I go to dive into burial assistance. Mr. Speaker, 10 o'clock in the night, I messaging Mr. Lockhart. Early in the morning, I messaging him because some families just cannot bury their loved ones. They cannot. So we need the assistance because it's today for tomorrow. We don't know the hour nor the day they're going to die. Mr. Speaker, just this assistance amounted to $31,500. Just this alone. And this is just a few because the minimum is $3,500. Sometimes they pay the whole package, $7,000 because they cannot bury their loved ones, Mr. Speaker. So I'm going to say thank you on behalf of those family grieving. So we thank for the assistance for the government because a lot of people, Mr. Speaker, we have to have so compassion and say thank you. Yes. Mr. Speaker, we have some assistance through education. We have 2 private preschools, 2 government schools, 2 because you know the pre is separated into also in this primary school too. So they also have 2 government preschool. And then we have 1 high school. Mr. Speaker, the figure for transportation is $172,000, $435,000 yearly. Mr. Speaker, uniform grants, $78,000 a year. Mr. Speaker, feed program, $23,000, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, textbook support, $15,000, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yearly in Marigot, the government is contributing $290,000 for this initiative. Mr. Speaker, this to me is a lot. Because one of the days when we used to, parents have to pay monthly, this have to do this, we have to find feeding program. Mr. Speaker, they'll give a child $5 and for the week and they go on and they eat in for the program. Mr. Speaker, that's different. That is a way moving forward and supporting the families and the kids, and because some families just cannot cut it. Just cannot cut it. Mr. Speaker, we're going to go to the social activities. Mr. Speaker, we have Carnival, we have Fisherman Feast, we have Mayfest, we have Carnival, we have our tourism bonfire. All this initiative, bear in mind, FS only give Jesma and I 50 and 50. Mr. Speaker, I gone past 100 for a long time. So, I don't know where that money coming out. It must have an overdraft. It must have an overdraft, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Tourism can attest. We get over, let me get my notes here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Carnival for the 3 years since I've been in the Parliament. Mr. Speaker, when I see the figure, $57,000 for 3 years for Carnival. Mr. Speaker, when the revelers and them want their thing, you have to give it to them. Because when I saw Portsmouth have opening, big band. Roseau, big band. St. Joe, big band. I put out a little thing about, little DJ and thing. But I get messages I couldn't answer. I have to call up the minister, call PS. And PS said, but you get that money. I said, not enough, they want the big band. I went on the 6th floor, go on the east wing. The east wing. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, you're laughing. Mr. Speaker, PS Henderson, sit down with me, wait for the invoice for the big band, and sign the check, and I went up to Marigot and gave the people and their big band. Mr. Speaker, when I just came, we had the Fisherman Feast, $20,000. Must be overdrafted, last minute. It's last minute. Mr. Speaker, for the 3 years, we have our Mayfest. For 3 years, Mayfest has shifted it to accommodate the Jazz Festival. Kudos, nice gesture, so nobody competing to go to the events. The government also assists them 1 year, 10,000, and next year, 15. This Mayfest, they got $30,000. So it's a total of $55,000 Mayfest received. That support to the Margot economy. Mr. Speaker, the social activities alone, Mr. Speaker, amounted to, let me get it right here for you. Let me get the notes.
Yes, so that's what refer to your notes.
Refers,
Lee.
yeah, that's what you're referring to.
You see, so now you're trying to get the actual
yes,
numbers.
the actual figures.
So proceed.
Yes,
proceed. You're going well there.
Mr. Speaker, $120,000 for the 3 years in social activities, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say it's back practice to lend money when you see unforeseen things. But, Mr. Speaker, the bills rises at times. So, Mr. Speaker, they ban 7,000. When you think it is US, Mr. Speaker, sometimes that you don't see is the calculation. So we need to have an overdraft, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, my constituency not shutting down at 7 p.m. on Friday. We're working Sunday to Sunday. We do have no time off. Key is socially, key is church, key is anything. We're not shutting down at 7 o'clock on Friday. We're going right through. So, Mr. Speaker, we need an overdraft. So when I go on the east wing and the west wing on the 6th floor, I will get assistance, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to dive into the sports. I see the Minister of Sports laughing. Mr. Speaker, we have a tournament taking place in Tortola, in the BBI, volleyball. Sunrise Sports Club have 3 members on the women team, 3 members on the men team, the national team. The coach is from Sunrise Sports Club, Itoma James. And they are presently heading to the tournament sometime this week. Mr. Speaker, we have our West Hart Court. We invest some money into it, but due to wear and tear, right now we have got no lights. We have national basketball players. We have national netball players. We have national volleyball players. And this court is heavily utilized. So with the intervention of the sports minister, we also got the okay. We're going to get some new lights, new poles. They're going to install it for us. So Sunrise can give me a little break on the little, because every day I in the chat and they're on my case. Also, Mr. James, when he comes in his cousin's house, I can attempt to come in his cousin's house, and every time he's talking about lights. So, Mr. Minister, I want you to get that done for me. Because Mr. Robinson might get vexed with me for Dominica Basketball Association. I have one of the best league, and Honorable might get a little, the best basketball league in Dominica. Mr. Speaker, you're getting medals, you're getting rings, you're getting trophies, and you're still getting cash cards in your hand to go at you. Mr. Speaker, that league was running for 3 years. Eventually, on the 3rd year, Margot won the tournament. And I have seen that the basketball have grown in Margot. It has reached back to a level where it once was. So that's what I want to continue. So I just send a little appeal to the FS, you know, nothing not there. But next year coming, I want to do the league again. So I can come on the 5th floor and ask for a little assistance with the budget. So I just send a little appeal there because it's a successful league. It's teams from all over Dominica, the best. And they're coming up there. So now, after the National League, you're having the Margot League. So you can continue developing the players and keep fit. So, Mr. Speaker, the sporting on a whole is growing. Mr. Speaker, as I on the sports, Alison James. Alison James has showed his remarkable form and improvement. Even after it was announced in Parliament that he's getting the ambassadorial role and his stipend, he still went and performed remarkable, and he was able to obtain the first ever under-20 World Championship medal for Dominica. That is an achievement to show. That is an achievement to show sports is growing. And we need to invest in young people. So that's why you can try to light as many courts as we can, because we need this, and we need to be fit. We need the sportsmen and women, and we need them to perform at a high level. So that's the way we can support them, light up the fields, give them the stipend so they can maintain and continue putting Dominica on the map, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you see the overdraft? The overdraft, you must have it in your business. You see health, Mr. Speaker, it have a young lady, not a young lady, a senior citizen, she's over 60, living alone, a recipient of World Bank, no kids, no husband. She had a eyes problem, vision problem, and the surgery couldn't get done in Dominica. Mr. Speaker, message to the Minister of Health. Okay, I'm going to work on something for you. Came, see, hostile again. But I understand he's the man for that.
You have to reframe to Senator.
Sorry, Senator Lockhart, sorry, because I know him long time, you know. So, the Minister of Health said, make it happen. I said, okay, it's easy so. All right, make it happen. Mr. Speaker, the lady was able to get a check through Social Security, I think, to go to St. Lucia, do a surgery, and came back with a vision fix. So, Mr. Speaker, this was not a thing budgeted because, Mr. Speaker, this is estimates, you know. It's right, the estimates. So you'll never see when the lady going to go blind and you cannot do the surgery in Dominica. So we need the overdraft, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my constituency, I know, is benefited for this. Again, thank you, Minister, because she said send the regards to you all for helping her fix her vision. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to refer again. Mr. Speaker, I understand my senator did not have the stats on the elderly, because you say the elderly a little bit being neglected. Mr. Speaker, we are 195 recipients of the 300 grant. Mr. Speaker, that's a monthly impact. That's a monthly impact of $58,000. Yearly, $700,000. Mr. Speaker, that 190 was small, you know, but the FS, Mr. Speaker, in my garage, I get a call fixing my vehicle. I had to leave my vehicle because names was calling. And she called in names. I know she's smiling behind me. She said, well, why call Mr. Ford? And she called in names, and she called in names, and she called in names of people that applied. So I asked her, why me? Why you calling me? Why you calling me for? She told me, well, I think you know everyone. And it's only one name, because a lot of people have nicknames. I said, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. I call her back in 3 minutes. I tell her, okay, that one qualified is good. Because, Mr. Speaker, it's not everyone that is qualified. And I know, to me, I never left Maribor. Mr. Speaker, I know everybody in Maribor. And, Mr. Speaker, what I've been seeing on both sides, we are abusing the systems. Mr. Speaker, when I see some diasporas come down with the big chain and the rental for months, and after they come into me and they're telling me, I want to put my uncle, my grandmother. Mr. Speaker, sometimes I'll be a little too blunt. Sometimes my wife will say she had to pray some more for me to fix my mouth. Because sometimes I say, but why? So one instant I tell her, carry back your rental and take the money and help your brother. Because you abusing people that want the help. That's why some will go through, you know. Some that don't need the help, and the family guys, some will go through because they're already in it. Mr. Speaker, $700,000 yearly. One constituency. Mr. Speaker, the overdraft, we need the overdraft, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the 3.5 years, we have the NEP program. That people have been transitioning into public service, privately, government. And I saw that our NEP went down. Then PS Valmore came along with the coordinator, along with the minister. First time I see missionary. I was hearing about a missionary, the coordinator for NEP. I never see missionary. So I don't know. I don't know how to approach, how to do this, how to do that. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I got it for we have 46 NEP workers. It's small, It's small, but they are in caregivers, they are in the school, they are in the beautification, they are in public sectors, and this amount to $50,000 monthly. A total of $600,000 into Margot economy. Mr. Speaker, I came into Miss Honorary office, and I think Mrs. Honorary is a very nice lady. She and her supervisor, they cannot set me up. Mr. Speaker, I personally adopted the NAP beautification program. I'm going to tell you why. Besides that $600,000, we need to talk about no material, no transportation, no nothing. Sometimes we are all our way. Lisa Matthew is the supervisor, and sometimes the material runs out. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say that anymore. Mr. Speaker, sometimes I just stole a little money from my wife first. Buy some oil, buy something. And after when she said that, I say, I'm ready to do something. I cannot see nothing yet. Mr. Speaker, the thing is that you have to, under my watch, you see under my watch, nothing not failing. Nothing not failing on my watch. Mr. Speaker, every month, you know we have the constituency allowance at Cape every month for the rent and for the thing. Mr. Speaker, I tell my secretary, you have to call, you will not pay no bill this month. My auntie listening in, but anyway, we will not pay no bill this month. We're going to fund NEP. Fix brush cutter. Because what happened is that they were working 3 times a day. So they have an increase to 5 days a week. So that machine was old. Mr. Speaker, 3 of the machine broke down. I said, boy, a machine is $3,000. Mr. Speaker, I come to Roseau, take an invoice by Steel. I go on the 6th floor on the West Wing. Mr. Speaker, on the West Wing, I say, my friend, I would like a brush cutter to go to Margot, please. Mr. Speaker, no long talk. In the morning, I would like a brush cutter to go to Margot, please. This is the invoice. You know, okay, Charlo. He called us there. Sorry, Mr. Senator Lockhart. They say give him an hour. Mr. Speaker, in 45 minutes, the secretary on the West Wing, I don't want to call her first name, Sandy, called me back and say, it's ready, sir. I say, wow. Now I have to take the brush cutter now, dirty up the woman's seat on the transporter. Bring up the brush cutter, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Margot will not remain dirty unless I am not the parrot, not under my watch. Mr. Speaker, right now, the NEP supervisor have my number on speed dial. She don't know where I'm getting it, but I will get it for her. Overdraft is always there, Mr. Speaker. Overdraft is always there. Mr. Speaker, once again, $2.5 million over. Because housing, I didn't get no stats from housing. That's millions. Other ministries that have been doing their thing before I know it. In my constituency, I didn't put airport grooving into that. I didn't put a lot of things into that. Mr. Speaker, this 2.5 is what I just put in my head, get some figures now and then. Mr. Speaker, as an independent candidate, Mr. Speaker, 2.5, Mr. Speaker, I think I will work with. Mr. Speaker, over 2.5 and counting. Because, Mr. Speaker, this is the best way I think an independent candidate can represent their constituency, not by talking, by getting things done. And Mr. Speaker, the overdraft is needed. The overdraft is needed because this, I see my opposition leader. Mr. Speaker, sometimes we have to unite, you know. We have to unite because you see this fighting thing there, one Dominica we have, only one Dominica. We only have one Dominica. Mr. Speaker, I see every my senators in here. I see certain people jump over my senators. I mean, they're strong-minded people, they choose to do this, choose to do that. Mr. Speaker, you'll never find me jumping up on my senators and them. They're from my same village. We forgive, we forget, we move on, we work together. But Mr. Speaker, it's one marigold. Sometimes I block them off, marigold. It's marigold. Mr. Speaker, we have one Dominica. We have to work with one another. All the major capital projects, it will come to completion. Although the Minister of Energy, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, when you come to Domlek and geothermal, I just want to dive into that a little bit. Because they're trying their best. But Mr. Speaker, as I reach up Friday, lights going, Mr. Speaker, I say, where? All I say, Vince. All I say, Vince. Mr. Speaker, Sunday again. Mr. Speaker, Sunday again. The lights were, Saturday I was in a wedding, Mr. Speaker, a wedding. Reception. Group. I just bought out Vince. And I take him about way. But Mr. Speaker, what I'm appealing to Domlek and maybe the Minister of Energy, sometimes our apology go a long way. And a timely apology too. It's never too late. Sometimes a press release, put out something. As Minister of Energy, don't make Domlek get all the little blame. Put out something as Minister of Energy. Because it's your formal, we trying. Sometimes it's not your formal, but sometimes just cover them up, man. It's one. You have to take one for the team. You have to take one. You say, I take so much for the team, man, for Marigold, man. I take so much gross, man. You see that our opposition leader now? You have to unite and make the thing work. We cannot afford to fail, Mr. Speaker. We cannot afford to fail. If we keep failing, the overdraft going to be multiple times what we're discussing now. So we have to make sure it works. We have to make sure the international airport finish. And as we're on the international airport, one of the issues I spoke to the Minister of Public Works, you see the wave overtopping? It's simple. Once the international airport is finished, wave overtopping issue is finished. Mr. Speaker, when you visit Melvin Bridge, straight across. Straight across. It's not heavily utilized, airport is not heavily utilized. If you don't want to wait for anything, you can go in your seesaw. Mr. Speaker, as soon as the International Aviation Commission, you ask for straight across the airstrip, and you're not in the wave of overtopping. Matter solved. That's easy because we are ready. That's why we have to support the international airport and fast track it. That's why we have to support it and fast track it, so eventually we'll come out in that wave of a topic issue.
4 more minutes.
What? Mr. Speaker? No. That's all right. I think everybody get the point that we have to support the overdraft. Yeah. So, because it is benefiting my constituency a great lot. Although the minister tells us of agriculture, told us it's thriving. But sometimes we need some figures. He says 700 million by thing. Where are we? What brought us there? What we need to improve, which if it's crops or if it's in the livestock. And sometimes we still cannot just say we invest in 35. What about people that have their money and just go and build pen? Next thing we have a glut one time. Sometimes we have to put it and do the analysis and assessment and tell them, okay, because you have financial institution, some people not going to aid bank. So you have to bring all of them together and tell, hey, we were looking for 50. So when you get one, let us know. So we're going to have a problem. We also have to see the end vision, and we want to make sure it works. We cannot afford to fail, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, with this, I'll just end that. With the government support, my constituency was able to get over $2.5 million and counting, and I am looking forward to working with the government and my constituency. Once I'm here, you'll be all right. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Blackmore, one second. I don't usually commend presenters, but I've been on a little crusade on my own, trying to ask members to follow the rules of the House and minimize the reading. Honorable Charles, I don't want to say if he is excellent or not in his own style, but he has proven that members on both sides can adopt their own style and represent the constituency. So I'm not going to say to give him a round of applause because I don't want it to be said that I begin him up, you know. But good approach, and I would like other members to follow suit. Thank you. Honorable Blackmore, we are recognized. You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not in a very good mood. And as a result, I was not sure what I was going to actually speak. And when I heard Senator Vidal from Salisbury, somebody who went through a formative period of education during the lifetime of the Labour Party administration in office, a bright, intelligent young lady, I believe that is indicative of the policies of the Labour Party insofar as the educational system is concerned in Dominica. Let me just say, Mr. Speaker, that Dominica has a 94% literacy rate, which therefore, Mr. Speaker, put it among the highest in the region, and the broader region, educational metrics, Mr. Speaker. And this is so, Mr. Speaker, because of the Dominica Labour Party policies in education, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the only people who are not able to read and write in this country are babies from 0 month to 12 months, Mr. Speaker. Everybody in this country has some level of competence insofar as literacy is concerned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support the overdraft because this overdraft, Mr. Speaker, will give support to a number of critical departments and critical services provided by the Ministry of National Security and Legal Affairs. This estimate, Mr. Speaker, this overdraft will support some of the major projects, Mr. Speaker, that will create the new Dominica reality, Mr. Speaker. And a number of us, including some of us in this honorable House, are not able to fathom, Mr. Speaker, the extent of the importance of those projects, Mr. Speaker, on creating a new Dominican reality, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start firstly with the geothermal energy undertaken in this country. In 1969, Mr. Speaker, in the Commonwealth of Dominica, before the independence of Dominica at the time, a report by the UNDP was done, Mr. Speaker, to explore the possibility of geothermal energy in this country. In 1969, Honorable Vince Henderson was a toddler. Oh, sorry, he was not born yet. Okay? The prime, okay, the prime, I was referring to myself, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, I was referring to
You
myself.
see why you should refer to your notes now.
Yes. In 1969, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Prime Minister was not born yet. I was a toddler. And Mr. Speaker, subsequent to that, you had Yuli Blanc, you had Patrick John, you had the great Dame Eugenia Charles, you had Edison James, who's still alive, you had the late Roosevelt Douglas, you had the late Pierre Charles, and we never saw the materialization of geothermal energy, Mr. Speaker. And it's because, Mr. Speaker, of the leadership, the ingenuity, Mr. Speaker, of our Prime Minister, the Labour Party administration in government, of course being led by the Minister Vince Henderson. Geothermal energy now, Mr. Speaker, is not only a dream, Mr. Speaker, it forms part of the new Dominican reality, Mr. Speaker. And today, Mr. Speaker, as I speak, all of us before this honorable House, Mr. Speaker, the geothermal energy is being transmitted on the ground from the national grid, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is the new Dominican reality we must speak to and we must appreciate, Mr. Speaker. Let me just say further. To dig almost 2 miles into the Earth's crust, Mr. Speaker, and to extract energy, Mr. Speaker, to the surface, and to have it, Mr. Speaker, into a plant and transmitted to a national grid, Mr. Speaker, on the ground. That is big science, Mr. Speaker, and that could only have been done by the Dominican Labour Party administration, Mr. Speaker. And because that is why a serious government needs time in office. In this leadership, it needs political will, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, the 25 years that the Labour Party has spent in power is justified, Mr. Speaker, because no other government was able to do what we're doing now, Mr. Speaker, and to have geothermal energy. And I look forward when we'll move, Mr. Speaker, from today, which is 70% renewable mix, to 100% renewable energy, Mr. Speaker, being pumped through a national grid, the first in the Caribbean and the first in the world to do that, Mr. Speaker, because of the leadership and ingenuity, Mr. Speaker, of the Dominican Labour Party administration, Mr. Speaker. So this is some of the stuff. This is some of the stuff. And that's why I said that time is important. Because the production well that is being utilized today, Mr. Speaker, was built in 2012. We are talking about resilience, Mr. Speaker. Hurricane Maria passed, before that we had Erica, and the wells were intact, Mr. Speaker. It speaks to the resilience, Mr. Speaker, that the Prime Minister and the Labour Party government has been talking about. Only this government had the political will and the competence to have done that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just also give support. And having said that, the transmission line, which is costing the state $45 million US, support will be provided to this undertaking, Mr. Speaker, through the measure which is before this honorable House, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I just speak briefly about some of the critical elements within the ministry we'll get support from, I want to talk about the international airport too, with your permission, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, I do not like to fly, and especially on small planes. Small plane. And that is a reality for a number of people, Mr. Speaker. So a new day is dawn. And the new Dominican reality I'm talking about, Mr. Speaker, the days of having to overnight in airports, sleep in airports, 24 hours to get to Dominica from the main centers in New York, in Washington, D.C., and in London. That will be cut, Mr. Speaker, to hours, Mr. Speaker, because that is the new Dominican reality that we are talking about, Mr. Speaker. So no more sleeping in hotels to come to Dominica to overnight. What that means to the divers, Mr. Speaker, who want to come to Dominica, people who want to do business, Mr. Speaker, 1 hour is important for them. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy when I heard the leader of the opposition of Salisbury, the MP for Salisbury, Mr. Speaker. I want to commend them, Mr. Speaker. I know you're very sharp, Mr. Speaker. I don't want to bring you into the debate, but as an industrial engineer, folks like you are very bright, so you're very observant. And something symbolic took place when she was presenting, Mr. Speaker. She was smiling because she was feeling the symptoms, Mr. Speaker, of the new Dominican reality that I'm talking about in this budget. And she drank 21 glasses of water, Mr. Speaker. I counted them. She drank, yeah. Right. And for me as a researcher, Mr. Speaker, I interpret that to mean, Mr. Speaker, that she's giving the Labour Party 21 seats at the next general election, Mr. Speaker. That is what she meant, Mr. Speaker. So thank you very much for that realization. Mr. Speaker, I want to say something here this morning, Mr. Speaker, that this new Dominican reality that we speak of can only be possible if we have a safe and peaceful Dominica, a just Dominica, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I'm looking forward for the training of 61 additional police recruits, Mr. Speaker, in this new financial year. And I know some support will be provided for that in that regard, Mr. Speaker. And I want to place on the record, Mr. Speaker, my appreciation for the tremendous work that the police have been doing thus far. There's always room for improvement. And, Mr. Speaker, if you permit me, as I speak about the need for a peaceful and just Dominica, I also want to take the opportunity to call on parents, guardians, members of the various communities within Dominica as to the importance of the roles, Mr. Speaker, in ensuring that there's some degree of ownership in that quest for a safer and more just Dominica. And I'm therefore calling, Mr. Speaker, and all of us with a role to play, Mr. Speaker, to protect and to safeguard the most vulnerable in our mix, especially the young children who are placed under our care. It takes a village to reach a child. Mr. Speaker, as we sit in this honorable house and we discuss in this honorable house, there's a particular reality confronting this country and a particular community. And I permit you, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, I made reference to that. I cannot say much about is the life matter that's under investigation. And Mr. Speaker, and I'm hoping that some closure can be brought to this missing child. And I'm also calling on us again, because I'm getting tired and fed up of this element of hypocrisy in this country. And we must stop it. We must stop it. I have no use for people who make it their vocation to interfere with minors and to spoil their lives. Those who rape, I don't like you. Don't call my phone. Those who take advantage of minors, I don't like you. Don't call my phone. I make no apology for that. And this is hypocrisy must stop. And I'm calling on the police. I'm calling those who are engaged at the social services. I'm calling on the pastors, bullets, rastas to play a role. And those pastors and those who, by false pretexts, present themselves, Mr. Speaker, as disciples of the Lord. I do not like you. When you violate that trust and you destroy the lives of the minors in this country, not only your credentials should be taken away from you, you should be emasculated, Mr. Speaker. I don't care, because we must stop this pretense and this hypocrisy. I'm talking about support for the police and the justice system that is provided for. All right?
You still on the overdraft?
Yeah, I'm still there. Yeah, I'm overdraft. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Because the money will go towards assisting the police in the investigation and the justice system, Mr. Speaker. Unforeseen circumstances, Mr. Speaker. Yeah. And Mr. Speaker, I don't go to law school, but I have a major in law. Mr. Speaker, so it's hurtful. And I'm calling on the police and those who belong to the social services. This government has done everything to pass a series, Mr. Speaker, of family laws. We have created a department within the Ministry of Social Services a director of social services, Mr. Speaker. And if a child is being neglected, abused, therefore report the matter to the appropriate services. And the guardians, the parents, the doctors, the teachers, those who are entrusted with the care of the minors, this administration, I was a chairperson, supported by Mr. Ray Harris and of course the Edith Chambers, we redefined and expanded the definition of certain offenses under the Sexual Offences Act. It's an offense not to report an abuse of a child. And the parents and guardians who use the children as commodities and take what they call lingerie money, it's against the law. And it's high time the police start prosecuting those people and put them in the same cells with those who violate the young children, Mr. Speaker. Unless we do those things, that is not going to stop. And I'm tired and sick of the hypocrisy in this country, and they blame the Prime Minister and the Minister for National Security. I do not have any use for any rapist, or any pastor, or any person of the Lord parading who violate and destroy a child's life. And then, I'm calling the police again. We have a Bail Act. And the Bail Act demarcates the offenses for which station bail can be given. And when people violate, especially our young children in this country, there should be no station bail, Mr. Speaker. That's what the law says. We must stop the condoning of those activities, Mr. Speaker. I know a lot of people don't like Reverend Black Messiah, you know, but I want to die that way, Mr. Speaker. You have to be able to say things as they are, not to please people, but to please your conscience and to please God, Mr. Speaker. That's what you live for, Mr. Speaker. So I want to get out of my mind. That's why I say I'm not in a good mood. So I must, Mr. Speaker, we, your government, have been working with the police on this matter. This matter is a very peculiar one in the sense that you cannot say too many things. I want to express my gratitude to our regional and international friends who have been providing expert assistance to us to get to the bottom of this matter. But I want to send a call to those from the communities who are involved in the reconstruction of fake social media accounts, pretending that they're talking to a missing child, Mr. Speaker. That is wrong and that's evil. And I'm happy that the police have been able to detect that, Mr. Speaker. That is not right. This is an un-Dominican approach. And I want to also say, irrespective of a person's minor disposition or habit, all life is important. Every case is important. We must isolate responsibilities, Mr. Speaker, and we must investigate and respond to a matter based on its merit, Mr. Speaker. And every day, Mr. Speaker, we have a focus on this matter. I want to commend the police for having a strong investigative team being led by a Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Speaker, to investigate that matter on all sides support, Mr. Speaker. I feel very personal about that because I'm the father of two wonderful daughters. And let me tell you something. I don't say much, when they're small. I don't say much because somebody used to say, Castanet was not born yet. More than son play with you, Mr. Speaker. I will not interpret that, Mr. Speaker, for you. Mr. Speaker, I want to also speak to the justice system in this country. And I want to actually commend the Chief Magistrate and the staff, Mr. Speaker. We have, and also I want to commend my cabinet colleagues for approving the additional magistrates, Mr. Speaker. We now have the full complement of magistrates on the bench, Mr. Speaker. And we introduced the Night Court. When we did so, Mr. Speaker, the Dominican Bar Association was not 100% on board. But now I feel elated, and I want to commend the president of the Bar Association. C2 is going to Night Court. Everybody's going to Night Court. And from the inception of the NICOT, Mr. Speaker, from the 30th of June 2025 to now, they have disposed over 300 cases, Mr. Speaker, at the NICOT, Mr. Speaker. That is the New Dominica reality that I'm talking about. When you can have swift and quick justice, Mr. Speaker, that's what we're doing. We had the situation before the initiation of the NICOT. We had 170 people on remand at the Dominica State Prison, Mr. Speaker. And of course, unforeseen, you have to feed the prisoners, and you have to call the AFS to get money, so that's unforeseen also. That's there. So, Mr. Speaker, now we now move from 170 people on remand to 74, Mr. Speaker. And that is what we are talking about, Mr. Speaker. We are now 195 insofar as the population is concerned. That's the lowest the population has been in over 40 years, Mr. Speaker, in Dominican history, Mr. Speaker. That is in the Dominican reality I'm talking about, where less of our populace are incarcerated, and they can be out to live wholesome lives, contributing towards mainstream society, Mr. Speaker. That is what the Dominican Labour Party is all about. And that is why, unforeseen, we're hoping to get some money to continue, Mr. Speaker, with our farm program. I'm happy that the prison has been able to provide vegetables, etc., to the infirmary, the grotto home, etc. And those are the things we want to do, Mr. Speaker, as we have a new approach. And to place less emphasis on incarceration and more emphasis on rehabilitation, Mr. Speaker. So when our inmates leave the prison setting, they can go out with a skill. So that is why, Mr. Speaker, we're embarking on a very aggressive approach to have, within the prison system, programs that are tailored for vocational skills, Mr. Speaker.
10 more minutes.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, Mr. Speaker, this estimate before, and this overdraft before this honorable House, Mr. Speaker, will also help us to do something else within the ministry, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the registry of titles, we have to ensure that we get what you call a scanner, unforeseen. All that's provided for, Mr. Unforeseen. What we intend to do, Mr. Speaker, because the land and title is something new that was introduced by the Labour Party administration. And as we speak, Mr. Speaker, we have no, Mr. Speaker, no bottlenecks, no outstanding ordinary titles, Mr. Speaker. And I think that, Mr. Speaker, is a significant improvement in the operation of the Land and Titles Department, Mr. Speaker. I know the other issue concerning the Bar Association and other people, because land issue is a vexing issue, Mr. Speaker. It has to do with caveats. And we have the infrastructure to house 3 judges at the Supreme Court. And I'm pleased to inform this honorable House, Mr. Speaker, that as of September 14, 2026, we'll be having a 3rd judge, Mr. Speaker, to deal specifically with the issue of caveats, Mr. in this country. So at least you can have a minimum of 3 hearings per week, Mr. Speaker. That is the New Dominican reality that we are talking about, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, as I said, I meant to have been very short. It was not my intention to speak here because of unforeseen circumstances. I had to rise and speak. Mr. Speaker, I feel very much, I have a passion insofar as education is concerned. I listened to the Minister for Education. She was brilliant in the presentation. And I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, I'm saying we must not forget. We speak about the international airport. We speak about the cable car, which I'll speak to briefly within my 10 minutes, Mr. Speaker. But I'm seeing something happening where the Golden Secondary School used to be. And Mr. Speaker, that is a symbol of intent that the Labour Party is transforming the educational system in this country, Mr. Speaker. Not only for Dominica, but a regional symbol, Mr. Speaker, where artisan skills can be taught in this country. Whether in Antigua, whether in St. Kitts, you can come to the center of excellence, Mr. Speaker, for vocational skill in the Commonwealth of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. That is the new Dominican reality that I see, and that's the new Dominican reality that the member for Salisbury constituency also sees, Mr. Speaker. So I want to place on this record my appreciation as a Dominican, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, to the People's Republic of China, Mr. Speaker, for the tremendous interest they have taken in the development of this country, Mr. Speaker, over the years, Mr. Speaker. Because what we are doing there to transform this country cannot be done by ourselves alone. And we must never underestimate, Mr. Speaker. I see the former Minister for Public Works there and Housing, my colleague. The transformation process that started when the Prime Minister established diplomatic relationship with the People's Republic of China. I'm calling on all of us to treat them with respect. And I have never seen, I was a good student of history, very good student of history, Mr. Speaker. And in reading our Caribbean history, and our Western, there was a book they call it Western History. Can you call that? For the past history, you have to read that. Once you cram that, you must pass history. And I have never seen, Mr. Speaker, anywhere in our Western history where the Chinese people colonized any part in the Caribbean or the world, Mr. Speaker. I think it's in bad taste, therefore, to be posting images in the public space in this, trying to create the impression that the People's Republic of China is colonizing Dominica, Mr. Speaker. That's unacceptable, and we must condemn it, Mr. Speaker, irrespective of our political position, Mr. Speaker. My last point, Mr. Speaker, unforeseen again, Mr. Speaker, I went as a young boy to the Boiling Lake. When my brother Lucy, not there, we used to walk all about. We used to walk all about. Left 4 o'clock in the morning, Emerald Pool walking, all the way walked. Midland Falls, through Massac in a track, etc. And my age right now, I cannot see myself walking, although I'm still very fit, walking to the Boiling Lake. But think about it, Mr. Speaker. Those who want to hike can do that if you love adventure. But how great it shall be for those like people like me who maybe don't want to walk, the mammies. Can you imagine mammy on a cable car strolling for the first time and seeing that nice view, Mr. Speaker? Can you imagine that? That is the new Dominican reality we're talking about, where options are being given to you to see this magnificent lake, Boiling Lake, Mr. Speaker, and at the same time appreciate nature and Dominica's topography, Mr. Speaker. That is the thinking, Mr. Speaker. That is the new Dominican reality that we're talking about. And that can only be done by the Dominican Labour Party administration. My final comment, as an end, Mr. Speaker, we are, whether we like it or not, we are at a major intersection in the development of this country. An intersection of prosperity, stability, and one of hopelessness, Mr. Speaker. And all the things that you heard in this budget presented by Dr. Mack earlier on, and all the line items that he made reference to, the significant projects that are going to change, Mr. Speaker, dreams and things that were impossible to realities, Mr. Speaker, are at a risk of being stopped, discontinued, if we make the wrong choice, Mr. Speaker, and elect folks who do not know what they're doing, Mr. Speaker. At the end of the day, that's the reality, because democracy has to be appreciated by choices. Okay? But sadly, from what I'm seeing on the other side, there's even not a binary choice. Mr. Speaker, because there's nothing coming from the other side, Mr. Speaker. And I feel for the member of parliament from Marigot. And maybe next time, because I'm not the prime minister, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I had one. But I do not think I'll be standing there for our next budget before the next election. You don't know. But if we were to return, Mr. Speaker, through you, maybe you have to prepare a protective shield for the member of Marigot to sit in his honorable house, Mr. Speaker. Because, well, maybe two of you are more online right now. But I'm saying by virtue of the last presentation she made. But I feel for you, but it's your fault. It's your fault. And when people do their things, I do feel sorry for them sometimes. You should never have left Labour in the first place. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much.
Yes, Honorable Lockhart Hippolyte, you may proceed. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the resolution here before us, the authorization of the credit facility, $108 million, overdraft, and $250,000, respectively. Mr. Speaker, I too want to congratulate the Member of Parliament for Marigot. I thought that his presentation was well received, and he was very genuine when he spoke about his constituency and the reason for the overdraft facility. Unlike his colleague on the other side, who stood up, Mr. Speaker, and read something somebody wrote for her, and even made some accusation, and Honorable Blackmore corrected her, that we have achieved 94% literacy in Dominica. And Mr. Speaker, I suspect that that statement that she made, that Dominica has a low literacy, it was misdirected, Mr. Speaker. And she needs to retract that statement. And Mr. Speaker, when the parliamentary opposition comes to this house, and this is the highest court of the land, and they make those statements, and what they do is they walk out. So if GIS could focus their camera on this side, you'll see that all the seats are empty. And that shows, except the PAL rep for the Marigot constituency, who's there sitting there, Mr. Speaker, and that shows that they are not concerned at all about the development of this country. While I'm on my feet, Mr. Speaker, I want to commend Honorable Dr. Irving McIntyre for a well-presented budget, Mr. Speaker. I believe this budget was presented in a time when we have no economic comfort. It is a time of uncertainty. And what this government has done is to put measures forward to safeguard and to cushion the impact of the shocks, Mr. Speaker, that we speak about in the resolution that is here before us. Mr. Speaker, as I speak about shocks, and many people do not want to hear about it, especially those on the other side, I believe that we face one of the worst shocks in recent times, COVID-19. 40% of our revenue was decreased, Mr. Speaker. We had to shut down our borders from the outside world. Government had to create an entire hospital at Douglas Childs Airport, Mr. Speaker. We had to feed the patients there. We had to pay for transportation costs, Mr. Speaker. And we were the only country in the OECS that were able to give out vaccines, Mr. Speaker. Only country. And so we spent a lot of money combating and fighting COVID-19. Mr. Speaker, we talk about the Ukraine and Russia war, the rising cost of inflation. And Mr. Speaker, the government is the largest consumer of goods and services. So when fuel and oil prices rise, we feel it. When shipping costs increases, we feel it, Mr. Speaker. Whatever is happening globally and whatever that is being experienced globally, we too, we feel the brunt of it, Mr. Speaker. And so therefore, the overdraft facility that we are asking for, or we're coming to the House for, is not something that is new to us, Mr. Speaker. It's not new. And the measures that we have brought to this House in this year's budget, the 2026-2027 budget, we have forgotten, Mr. Speaker, $43 million. $43 million. And so what we must ask ourselves, Mr. Speaker, is when we as a government forgo $43 million, where are we getting the rest of the monies from to pay recurrent expenditure? And I really want to commend the Minister of Finance and the Ministry of Finance. Because for 4 years, we have been coming to this House, and we have not once, Mr. Speaker, asked for an increase in the overdraft amount. The overdraft amount remains the same for 4 years of $108 million. And that is commendable, Mr. Speaker. Notwithstanding what we have gone through, notwithstanding Hurricane Maria, notwithstanding the pandemic, notwithstanding the Ukraine-Russian war, and notwithstanding the inflation that we are seeing today, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in 2019, I recall being in the Maho constituency. And as I mentioned Maho, Honorable Blackman, Honorable Laville face light up because they said that's the best constituency, Mr. Speaker. But I recall speaking, and the Dominica Labour Party launched its manifesto, Dynamic Dominica. And I was one of those who spoke that night on the platform for the Dominica Labour Party. And I heard Senator Vidal earlier. She said that we are told about capital projects. We are told. But as a parliamentarian, Mr. Speaker, Senator Vidal should know what is going on. Senator Vidal should have visited many of the capital projects that are ongoing. And so we presented Dynamic Dominica. And many people would have been saying, but what are they talking about? Can we build an international airport, Mr. Speaker? And today, if you drive, Mr. Speaker, through Wesley, and my mother told me she took a lovely drive down the West Coast on Saturday, went to Portsmouth, went through Kalibishi, nice road, Mr. Speaker, went into Wesley, and what she saw, Mr. Speaker, she could not believe it. Buildings going up, terminal building, the fire station at Wesley, Mr. Speaker. And we are constructing the Roosevelt Skerrit International Airport. And so that is not a fairy tale. It is not a story. Who have eyes to see, Mr. Speaker? Let them see. Then we come to the valley, the cable car project. The cable car has been constructed. What is happening now? They're building the infrastructure surrounding the project, Mr. Speaker. Several Dominicans engaged on that project. And when this is completed, we heard that the minister said that we have increased the number of visitors that are coming to the island. And so when that is completed, we envision and we expect to see triple the amount of visitors on island, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it is because of the Dominica Labour Party that so many people are visiting our island. We have created the access. No more having to overnight in Antigua. When the Minister of Tourism brought to Cabinet the cost of grooving the runway at Douglas Charles, Mr. Speaker, all of us frightened at the cost. We could not believe how expensive it was to groove a runway and to extend. And so today we're seeing American Airlines direct flight coming into Dominica, from Dominica to Miami, Miami to Dominica, United Airlines, Mr. Speaker, Contour Airlines, Mr. Speaker, coming in. And so we are creating the environment where so many can have access to our beautiful island. And today, Mr. Speaker, I can boast that Dominica is the best Caribbean island to visit today. Recently, we had the bike festival, and over the weekend, breakfast fete, Mr. Speaker. I went to Fort Young, Evergreen at Castle Comfort, and the amount of French people that are on island, Mr. Speaker. I stopped by Standards to get something to eat last night, a local business in the Citroën area. Mr. Speaker, I could not even enter Standards last night. Packed. The amount of people waiting for their chicken, their ribs, their fish from a small business owner, Mr. Speaker. And so when we bring people into this country, the small business owners feel the impact, Mr. Speaker, and they benefit from what is going on. And so, Mr. Speaker, this resolution that the minister has presented as it relates to the overdraft facility, Mr. Speaker, is something that is needed. Every small business in town has an overdraft facility. Even in your people and their own personal homes, they have overdraft facility. So that is not anything new, and you're talking about a whole government, Mr. Speaker. Entire government. $108 million overdraft facility is not even enough for us. And I personally believe that that should be increased, Mr. Speaker. But we are ensuring that we are managing the state of the affairs in a very prudent and responsible manner, Mr. Speaker. And we are not just going to the overdraft facility, Mr. Speaker, and abuse it. It is an agreement with the financial institutions, and you will only use the overdraft when it is necessary. Because government raises revenue through taxation, through grants and loans. And so if for 1 month your expenditure exceeds your revenue, then you would have to go into the overdraft facility to meet your expenses. And that's how it works, Mr. Speaker. And so the opposition parliamentarians should not come in this house and try to mislead the Dominican public by saying that we are misusing the funds. And Mr. Speaker, before I close, I would say again, $108 million overdraft for 4 years. We have never come to this house to increase the overdraft facility, notwithstanding the shocks that we have been facing is commendable. And Mr. Speaker, it is against that backdrop that I fully support the resolution that is before us today.
Yes, Honorable Dr. Henderson, you may proceed. You are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the resolution before us to guarantee an overdraft of $108,250,000 under Section 3.1 of the Loans Act, Chapter 6405 of the Laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica 2017 revised. Mr. Speaker, every year, once there is this resolution before the House, it is important to remind the public, and although I felt this year perhaps may not have been necessary, but after the presentation from the senator on the opposition side, I felt it's necessary to make a contribution to seek to bring some clarity to the reason for an overdraft and the important role that an overdraft must play in financing government services, providing goods and services, and the overall management of the national budget. So in the simplest terms, the overdraft is really there to assist the government in managing public finances. I would not want to limit it to only unforeseen or emergency use, because it is really to allow the Treasury, the Ministry of Finance, the Financial Secretary, the Accountant General, the Budget Controller, to manage government finances. So it could be for several reasons. And I think the member of Marigot sought to bring his own explanation on the overdraft. And, all those are part of it, unforeseen and emergency and so forth. But it's really a tool to manage the finances. So to give the impression that every year, I think the senator said every year for 4 years it should be in there, we come in for an overdraft. That's not how it works. Because once the overdraft is approved, the Ministry of Finance, they pay down on the overdraft and they have to reuse it. But every year they must get authorization to use it. And it's not given. It could be next year, perhaps Ministry of Finance could advise the Parliament that they only need $50 million. They need $70 million, or whatever they feel that they can manage. So that is what an overdraft does. So I really want to take the opportunity to just explain that. That is what it is. So it's the same thing in your personal overdraft or your business overdraft. You have the credit limit, you pay it down when you can or as you schedule. And the good thing, the overdraft provides an opportunity for the National Bank to earn some money, because government has to pay interest on the overdraft. I think it's all part of how the economy works. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, when the leader of the opposition spoke about GDP and those macroeconomic indicators, as if they're far-fetched and make no sense, but it is those things that the bank will have to evaluate to determine if it's going to allow the government to have an overdraft facility at their bank. It's not because we passed the law that it obligates the financial institutions or mandate them rather, to give us that facility. We still have to go and negotiate that facility. In the past, it used to be in the respective banks. We used to take perhaps a Royal Bank. What was the other bank? There was Barclays Bank. No, that was long before. Oh yes, and then Scotia Bank. So they used to be throughout. But each financial institution would have to evaluate the performance of the government's finances and determine whether they want to provide that special facility as they would to an individual or a business. So it is important to get that right and to understand how government finances work. But Mr. Speaker, while I'm on my feet, I just want to take the opportunity to do what my good friend from Marigot, the Member of Parliament for the Marigot constituency, Honorable Charles, urged me to do. I would like to apologize for any blackout, any loss of power, any damage of appliances that were occasioned by events on the national grid. I hope that is adequate to him, or perhaps I may use a language more familiar with him. So I'm sorry. Mr. Speaker, what happened, it was funny. Although, a fellow gave me a story, he told me, boy, you thank Domlek so much, and you call some names, but I suspect you didn't call a fella name and he pulled the plug. And that's why light go. But I spoke to the manager, and that's not why lights, went off. But I spoke to the manager of Domlek immediately after, and we have a good relationship. Whenever something happens, I reach out, or they would inform me. We have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of work to do on the national grid. And this is why I want us to think about those things. And this is why it's important to manage the finances in such a way that government can make some investments. Because, as I said, electricity is a public good. And it's not just because Domlek is a private company. And let's go back to this. When the first time Domlek was sold back to, it was bought from CDC, then sold, then bought again, then sold. I think WRB and then Emera were the last of recent vintage. And at every occasion, it was said that the reason for selling the majority shares to a foreign company was to ensure that the system could have been upgraded, that the investments would have been made, so that the state would not have the burden of making the investments in Domlek. It was working with Emera. I must say Emera is a very responsible company out of Canada. And they started the process. We started seeing some improvements, reduction of line losses, improvement in efficiencies and so forth. But by the time two things happened, one, the conversation of geothermal eminently coming onto the grid, reduced investments in generators, although they got permission to acquire some generators, and those are the generators that are in Sugarloaf now. So Sugarloaf generators are of more recent age, and therefore they are some of the more efficient generators on the network. But also the second thing that happened is that they were expecting to get the geothermal project themselves, that is Emera, and then came Erica, and then came Maria. But the real heat was the passage of Hurricane Maria. And that affected the ability to really invest in modernizing the entire network. So what has been happening in the last few days are really little issues that continue on the network, the transmission and distribution lines of Domlek, that they are improving every time something happens. And I have to commend them for that. But there is still some work to be done, some investments to be made, and I am not, again, shirking from the responsibility, but it was really, thank God, geothermal has been stable and has been online and have been with no issues over the past 6 weeks. So it had nothing to do with any of those things, but from time to time, perhaps a panel, a recloser may open somewhere, and that could cause the outage. And as you notice, they did not last for a very long time. We were able to identify where the issue was and respond very quickly and get it resolved. So we're hoping that over time we will see less and less of those things happening. But I'm very happy that we are now stably on geothermal, and I expect the report coming soon on the performance in July. We will see even a greater contribution of renewable energy to the grid. And I think my colleague was trying to remind me of something there, but I said, nah, I'm not going to respond to that. I think I have done that adequately because we really are on our way to realize 100% renewables in a very short period of time. Well, Mr. Speaker, finally, before I end, I just wanted to add one more thing, and I heard the Prime Minister very passionately making the case once again of his stewardship, and we have to thank him for that. But I was reflecting on a few things, and I listened to the opposition, and I listened to a lot of the discussion around the country. And I put it in a manner that, I don't know, some people may not agree with me, but the Dominican Labour Party has become the victim of its own success. The Labour Party has done so many big things and make them look so easy. And I remember some years ago, I stood here in the parliament and I said something, but it was lost on most people because I remember they taught me in school, it's context. If people, you can't try to make an analogy of cricket to people who play baseball, you know? So, but I once said that it was so easy, even a caveman think he could do it. You know, the guy could add, but nobody gets it. Anyway, but, but the really truth is that the Labour Party has done so many big things and so many things for so many people that, one, people expect those things. So there was no school feeding program before the Labour Party. There was no school transportation system. There was no school transfer grant. There were no provisions of uniforms. Well, the UWB started giving textbooks, so all credit to them. But there were so many things that we did not have. You could not just go to college. You had to be the real cream of the crop. I mean, when I went to college, Clifton Deputy Community College, there was just two of us from St. Joe. And as the minister said, no, you don't have, one bus is not enough. You know, so we have done so many huge things. Scholarships, Mr. Speaker, because I just permit me, when you think of scholarships, at the end of the year, every year, there was a time that there was 3 to 5, I think it was 1980, I was looking at some stats sometime, and 3 or 4, 5 people used to go to university. It was unheard of. I didn't even know that we were, and somebody took issue with me the last time I said in Parliament, that we could be doctors and lawyers. I didn't know you could actually do that, you know, and that is the way it was. No, this has become so commonplace. It has become so commonplace that people think those things just happen. Those things are so easy, and that's why you've seen the growth of the overdraft over the years, admittedly. There was a time it used to be 35 million, 50 million, and then it keeps going up, and now it's 108 million because of the size of the economy, the size of the government services, the size of what government actually has now find itself doing that it didn't used to do before. You know, and we talk about assistance to the elderly, the 300 non-contributory pension system providing assistance for the burial of people who really can't do it, although I think there's a bit of abuse, I have to say, unfortunately, publicly. We have to be mindful that it is taxpayers' money. And that if the government is going to assist you, you should be prudent and be at least more considerate in your demand. I say that to my constituents all the time. But there are so many things that the government is now doing that people think that government must do that. You know, it is part of the success of the Labour Party that has become, you know, part of its greatest criticism because people now expect those things so much. You couldn't pay NEP on time, and that's a problem. But there was no NEP to pay before you created the NEP. There was none. I am not saying we should be excused for late payment. But I'm saying when people do those criticisms, they need to pause. And one thing the Prime Minister said today that stayed with me is the opportunities, man. There are so many opportunities. Rather than taking advantage of them, we just complain and complain and complain. I am really getting sick of it. Because you could see clearly, if an economy like Dominica, so small, the population is shrinking. Let's admit it. We don't have 73,000 people, and all of us know that. I think right now there's consensus. There's consensus on that, and I'm hoping that when we're done with the census, we can finally put this to rest. But even with a shrinking population, you've seen the highest revenue collection from taxes. That says something. That says something. Because you would expect a population growth. You would expect something happening that would have raised revenue. Because I know we always used to say, you can only tax the people so much. There's only so much you can get from taxes. But it is, something is happening. Something is happening in Dominica. Because the growth, and then people keep beating on the Minister of Agriculture. I mean, yeah, I too would like to see an expansion in agriculture. I would love to see commercialization in agro-processing and all of those things. I mean, you know me, I'm a fellow, I always have some kind of, big ideas. But I mean, I would like to see that. But the truth is, when people start to compare about GDP contribution or GDP, but that is when you were making figure alone. You had a bigger contribution to GDP because all we had was bananas. That's what we had. And fig and dashing and planted in between, a little yam and whatever, tanya and everything else mixed, and oranges and grapefruit. But now you have tourism growing. You have services. You have young men and women who make money. I mean, we always had Gramax and Exile One and Midnight Groovers, Bells Cambo, yeah, of course, Naked Feet, and so forth, and you can keep going. You had one to that? Okay. I mean, we had Wax as well in St. Joe. But you've seen now a movement that people, young Dominican artists, are making money by having their videos on YouTube. Yes. You imagine that? You had to go by Daru record shop to get a little cassette before. You remember, and buy your cassette and thing. So unless you go and perform somewhere, you can't make money. If you're an artist in Dominica, Gramax had to go to Guadeloupe. Exile One, Midnight Groovers had to go to Guadeloupe to make a money or go around Dominica having shows. But now, a guy can stay here in Dominica, make a little video, la video, and put it on YouTube. That is it. And you're making money. You're making money. I'm just saying, I mean, we have seen an economy that has been diversified, sometimes even without us, admittedly, because the young people created their thing. We can't go and take credit and start to beat our chest. The young people in their own innovation, using technology, and they have created a new opportunity for themselves. So we're seeing more consumption. And I think the telling thing is the more consumption. It is almost sometimes, and I wonder if I should really say this one, but as societies develop, like consumption, garbage, we generate more trash because we are more affluent. If you don't have money, you cannot buy. If you cannot buy, you cannot consume. And the reason we have an increase, and yes, admittedly, we have to keep pace with that increase. We have to keep pace. And therefore, we sometimes blame ourselves and beat ourselves over the head for things that are really trying to tell us that, yes, your country is expanding. It's growing. Materially, people are doing better. People are more ambitious now. That's why you get so much pressure for this and for that, because people's ambition have been risen. When Labour Party said it was taking people to the next level, this is what it was talking about. The expectations, the ambitions, the demands, that is what it is. It is a mental state that was occasioned by material infrastructural development and great opportunities. So I don't know, I just think we need to have a new conversation in Dominica. A conversation where we can start looking at what we have achieved and telling ourselves, so if there's an opposition debate, is the best path forward. That's what the debate should be about. When I hear a man aspiring to be the Prime Minister of Dominica talking about geothermal, Bossman, that's a talk of 20 years ago. And a young man, we almost my age. Well, oh no, I'm not that young. Yeah, I forget. I just look young. But really and truly, so for a political party now to have a debate as if that's a real thing, trying to criticize Labour Party for its investment in geothermal and to say that we cannot do great things because, that is not where we should be now. The conversation, and I think the leader of the opposition, she made some great points on that. You can talk about efficiency, transparency. You can talk about those things. Talk about the options. Yes, so you're investing in agriculture. Maybe you should do this or you should do that. Or if it was me, that is what I should do. But to keep saying that there's no investment in agriculture, when you can pick up the estimates and you can see the numbers, and if you have to do it historically and go back 10 years, you will see it's unprecedented. Dominica has never seen that type and level of investments in agriculture in our history. So, Mr. Speaker, and I'm sure the Financial Secretary can speak for herself, she's there. And the Minister of Finance presented his resolution. So he will tell us, and I'm sure that he will, how prudent he is in managing this overdraft facility. Because as I said, it's a tool we use for managing the finances of the state. I'm sure there are some challenges that we have to confront as we go through this fiscal year. And we must ensure that the balancing act of being fiscally prudent and meeting the needs of the people, ensuring that we're not too constrained by the desire to achieve overly ambitious fiscal prudence and forsake being able to meet to provide goods and services to people who need them the most, and to ensure that we can continue on the trajectory that we have been for the last few years, where we can expand the economy in a way that people can benefit. And I think even when we spoke about new industries, new opportunities, and I have to commend the Minister of Tourism for persistence on a bike fest. And I have to admit, you may not have seen me anywhere, but I watched YouTube, and I was impressed. Fellas like to talk. Bossman, well, go and ask your uncle. When I was a little boy, I used to ride your uncle 500 Yamaha XT. I was a bike man in my youth. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The FS wouldn't tell you. I used to go right up, Grand Savannah, take my little lime in those days. I used to be in the thing, No, but really and truly, I think it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity that is created there. I think we need to seriously sit and see how that can be further developed. And motorsports, I think that is a concept. Again, we have to do them properly. We have to urge safety first. We have to ensure that we do not annoy, the communities. There has to be some responsibility. Things that happen at certain hours of the morning, we have to put those things under control. If we're going to build that industry, there has to be some responsibilities. There have to be rules, and people must respect those rules. But I think there's a great opportunity for growth. And I will say to you, Minister of Tourism, one of the things the tool of marketing, and I saw somebody posted that in their criticism to, on us, but they made a point that I think it was they themselves didn't recognize that while they were saying that this is where you've shifted, using non-traditional means for marketing and promotion. And the YouTube that have been generated, I think that to me have great promotional value, great marketing value, and I think you're going to want to contact some of those I don't know how you call them, influencers. Oh yeah, that's what you call them. Well, they don't influence me, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So you may want to see how you can utilize them, because I find they did an excellent job for us. And the best part of it is when the guys were leaving, they took a tour and they went in the river, they passed Grow Show and somewhere, and they ask me about, if I watch it for sure, I think I was coming there. Them man say I just tell stories, so people think it's fables. No, but I think this is great stuff. And we need to also encourage, cycling. Coaf Baron, is a man from the south, is my partner. We're able, on the behalf of my constituency, to sponsor him for his training, and he's now in Italy training for his next tournament. He's done well. There are other young men who have done well. So we need to, again, encourage cycling. And several months ago, there was a competition here in Dominica. Again, we need to let Dominica serve as the place to have those type of events. So we need to continue along that line, and I want to commend the Minister of Tourism and thank the Prime Minister for his continued support, and most importantly, to thank the young men and women who put this together, and want to urge them to continue pushing forward so that they can grow that industry, again, demonstrating that we are really diversifying the economy. We are expanding in areas that we never thought of before, or the opportunities were never be created before. But technology now makes a lot of things even more possible. And
5 more minutes.
thank you. And thank you, Mr. Speaker. And we have to continue to build on those successes. And I would really urge our people, and especially young people, to take advantage of those opportunities and to see how we can make something from the opportunities being presented. Rather than seeing ourselves as victims, as consumers, let us ourselves now become producers and leaders so that we can be part of the development of the country. And I think we need to move to that stage where we just stop the debates about these foolish little things here and there, man. Let people disagree on serious issues. Let us have a conversation on serious issues and stop distracting ourselves, because we keep tripping ourselves. No country in the world has developed in civil war. No country has developed with civil war. The United States had its civil war over 150 years ago, but that didn't last for long. Everybody came together and they moved forward. Compare that to countries in other parts of the world where people continue in civil war, and look at where they are today. We have to stop that seemingly war against each other with words, and let us get together and determine how we're going to move this country forward, because the opportunities have been created, and it's really up to us to have a conversation on how to best take advantage of them for the benefit of all our people. Mr. Speaker, I support the resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Lloyd, you are recognized. You may proceed.
Thank you for recognizing me, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me say a pleasant good day to you and to everyone in this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, I too stand to be extremely brief in support of this overdraft facility. The truth is, Mr. Speaker, I have a 30-page document before me that I prepared prior, but after listening to the Honorable Prime Minister and likes of Dr. Henderson, my dear colleague, Honorable Kent Edwards, advised that I might want to be as organic as I can in my presentation. So I shall certainly take him up on his advice, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the reality is the world today is challenged. We are seeing rising cost of living, inflation and hyperinflation in many parts of the world, Mr. Speaker. And Dominica, of course, is no exception. And we as a government, we have always been honest and transparent for ourselves and with the people of Dominica, Mr. Speaker, especially about the challenges which continue to confront us as a people. So when some Dominicans say, boy, things hard, boy, this, boy, that, the reality is, Mr. Speaker, you cannot blame them. That is because life is becoming much more expensive to live. It's becoming much more expensive to survive, Mr. Speaker, which is why we are here today. And I am here today basically to explain some of the reasons as to why it is much more expensive to live, Mr. Speaker. What we ought to address is the misguided belief that it is this government that causes life to be, quote unquote, challenged in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. This, in fact, is not true, which is why I must respond to the Honorable Senator from Salisbury, Honorable Vidal, when she spoke about our borrowing not aligning, or or borrowing basically funding a deficit. Mr. Speaker, sometimes I fail to believe that we live in the same Dominica. This cannot be the truth. We can't be living in the same Dominica. Because just last week, the Minister of Foreign Affairs spoke so eloquently, Mr. Speaker, and described to us what transpired after the ravages of Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria, Mr. Speaker. And the amount of monies that we had to, basically take as loans, Mr. Speaker, by way of loans, to basically bring back Dominica to where it was, to assist the downtrodden, Mr. Speaker, and to build an entire community. And today, Mr. Speaker, we are saying to the people of Dominica that we are basically taking loans because we can take loans, Mr. Speaker, to fund that deficit. Marco is Sam, Mr. Speaker, after all, Mr. Speaker. This is not fair. So when we speak about evil, Mr. Speaker, evil is not about sorcery or God is after and sorts of things, Mr. Speaker. It's not about witchcraft or fortune telling, Mr. Speaker. This evil is a state of mind, Mr. Speaker, because I don't understand how we've had dozens of people who lost their lives as a consequence of Hurricane Maria and Tropical Storm Erica and COVID-19, Mr. Speaker, and how we've had hundreds of millions of dollars in losses as a result of these unexpected events. And we have a prudent thinking government who has contracted loans, the very same facility that we're speaking about, assisted in bringing back Dominica back to where it was, Mr. Speaker, and to assist people. And we are saying, Mr. Speaker, that we are borrowing to fund deficits, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are asking about the importance of the overdraft, knowing that we are prone to climate change. At the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, a lot of these challenges which confront us today is not because of our own doing. The reality is, as they would say, well, the older folks would say, when the bigger countries sneeze, we catch the cold, Mr. Speaker, and that is the reality. A lot of the challenges which confront Dominica today are imported challenges, Mr. Speaker. And a lot of these challenges is the reason we are asking for this overdraft facility, Mr. Speaker, to confront the economic impacts as a result. So when Hurricane Maria and Tropical Storm Erica occurred, and they quasi us, Mr. Speaker, as we would say, or they destroyed us, it is not because, Mr. Speaker, someone was burning some tires somewhere in the bush. No, Mr. Speaker. It is a direct result of climate change. It's because the larger nations were burning fossil fuel. When COVID-19 happened, it's not because someone, perhaps somewhere in Pokasi, ate some manico agouti, Mr. Speaker, some wildlife. No, Mr. Speaker, these things were imported into Dominica, Mr. Speaker. But the reality is we had to deal with the consequences of the actions of others, Mr. Speaker. And that is the reason why we need this facility, because anything can happen at any time. And it is better to be prepared, Mr. Speaker, in that eventuality so that we can shelter the storm and we can shelter the wet days, both literally and figuratively speaking. So, Mr. Speaker, when you think of the gas prices, for example, I'll use this last example, we're not paying an extra $50 to fill our tanks, Mr. Speaker, because we were going to in some other country to start a war. No, Mr. Speaker, we're making fun of some other country to start a war. In Dominica, we don't have problems, Mr. Speaker. We don't have problems with anyone. We don't have problems with no one, Mr. Speaker. Our only problem in Dominica is the sentiments that have been expressed by people like Senator Vida, Mr. Speaker. And every time we have come to this honorable house, Mr. Speaker, it's always about one thing, and that is how can we make life easier for the common man of Dominica. And we've heard it in presentations before, even during the budget address, Mr. Speaker, when we spoke about removing VAT entirely of a number of selective food items, Mr. Speaker. And every time we've come here, it's always with that sort of in mind, Mr. Speaker. So this budget, Mr. Speaker, that was approved by this Parliament, basically echoed the voices of the Dominican people. when some of them say that they're not getting enough of the money that they're supposed to get every month in their pockets or in their banks, Mr. Speaker, what did we do?